Back again, are we? Of course you will.
You pick up the payphone. No reaction, but the thrill was nonetheless palpable. Give it a rest for today. Return when the sensation is free. You step away. The cleaning tuk-tuk with it. The tuk-tuk remains.
You're back, and you still look like that.
Yuck. That freak with the colored hair? Definitely not Moonglow. Whatever the opposite of Moonglow is, that's her.
It's true. She could never be a true Ultra. Sorry. She can't sing. She tried at school once, in the talent show. It was like high catastrophe. She died up there.
I mean, she should have actually died. If that was me, I would have just died. Why? You're lezzing out together. Nonce. Take that back. Just tell her she's in Moonglow. She knows already, but it's good to remind people like that where they stand. She's like Sun Shadow. That's the opposite, right? Thank you.
Please, don't tell us we should be nicer to her. We've tried.
It was too hard. I hate lying. She's just not one of us. Thank you. Sure.
Hello again. What'll it be?
You find yourself staring at the discolored television screen. The distortion makes it impossible to tell which team is which.
Probably should just throw that thing out. Alright. In you go.
As you sink into the rhythms of the fogged mirror, your consciousness takes a backseat as your body is puppeteered by muscle memory. You wipe, wash, pour, serve, and repeat. An evening comes and goes in the blink of an eye. The stress hangs off you like an old friend. Lucia hands over your pay with a small nod and a soft huff.
See you.
It's still almost impossible to make.
It's getting worse. I really need to just give up on it and buy a new one.
You stare into the purple haze. Figures shift and ripple under discolored static. Fish below the surface of a vast, unknowable electronic sea. Much like the actual ocean, the violet waves that lap across the screen are unaffected by your pleas. The TV continues to rip open the colors of another dimension. The bed welcomes you. The stillness of the room quietens your mind as you settle down. You hold the decades-old explosive device in front of you. It trembles, near whining with a high-frequency ache that you can feel in your teeth. You don't need training in bomb psychology to know that this bomb is psychologically disturbed. Exactly. You're an ignorant bacteria farm, and even you know this guy's got issues. It's been alone in that cubbyhole for decades, poor little thing. Not a single person maimed, not a single limb detached. Not if you're a bomb. Look at it. It wants to destroy, to annihilate. Pitiful dear thing. The bomb purrs excitedly in your arms. It trusts that you'll give it flesh to annihilate. Bombs, gang. You tuck the bricks of C4 back about your person. The woman stiffens as you approach, but greets you with a small smile nonetheless.
Ah, hello. We meet again. A fellow honorable peruser, I assume?
She's referring to the honor book stall next to her.
Isn't it? Any effort to make literature more accessible is to be admired, in my opinion. I have to say, I'm not so keen on that idea. Best to stick with books for now. We know they have a direct benefit without introducing unexpected dangers. Anyway, enough of that. Is there anything I can help you with? Oh, probably due to you finding me away from my work for once. I'm taking a moment to relax now that the latest issue has wrapped. Well, I would be. Unfortunately, that issue won't be going to print. We've had our funding cut, at least for now. I'm trying to hold myself together, but yes, it has been quite a blow. I'll pull through. Whether the magazine will or not is a different matter.
It's been much harder than she's letting on. That magazine was her life.
When desperate, one is forced to lie with the monsters of the world. I was told that security needed tightening. That was all. Then they kicked me out.
No doubt due to the security breach you enacted. An unfortunate knock-on effect.
I knew there was something happening down there, but I admit, I'm a coward and a shill. I chose to look away so long as the review was kept in operation. Then it is worse than I feared.
She looks like she could be sick.
Gosh, she always seems so naive. I believe you, don't worry. But, oh, are you alright? Do you need a doctor? Not once. I thought she was a stupid, innocent girl. But that doesn't matter. Are you hurt? You don't mean that, seriously. No one deserves that.
Maybe I do. She thinks to herself.
Let's talk about something else. All of this is rather grim, and I fear it won't do us any good. It's a book of poems called Turned to Fruit. Not much good in it, I'm afraid. Undoubtedly a metaphor, though why they chose that one hasn't become any clearer after reading the majority of the contents. There's nothing wrong with them per se. It's more a matter of taste. When you have read as many poems as I have, it's easy to tire of anything that isn't completely fresh. I wish I could, but years of reading and writing and editing poems has almost taken all the joy out of them. Feels like a curse of passion.
Here's a question for you. When was the last time you enjoyed your own line of work? Hope all the stress and isolation and paranoia is worth it.
Of course, I have this. You've been taken in by them as well, I see. As with anything, it's a matter of practice. Sorry, with the review on hold, I'm struggling to find as much enthusiasm for the hobby. Lacking an audience, you see? They are, aren't they? Goodbye.
The stall remains as you turn away. You pick up the payphone's handset. No reaction. Give it a rest for today. Return when you step away. You find yourself before the strange tree once more. Yellow. You leave the mysterious. An old bench marks to be revered. You consider rest. An old bench marks to be revered from seeing. You consider resting here, but can't justify another pause, so. The cleaning tuk-tuk with its soap bubbles and sea. The padlock quivers with the tuk-tuk remains. This must be Reno's place. The dolphin indicates as much.
private residence. Please state your business. No. Are you? Then we are both not Reno. You sure don't look like one of them. The business has concluded for now. I mean, I have no idea about any business Mr. Reno might have.
Checks out. No discrepancies detected.
Neither. The only business taking place is this right here. Between you and me. No, I simply misspoke. Too bad for you, as I decide what the facts are here. No, you're not.
2. Create a sense of urgency.
No.
3. Hope they buy it.
I thought you were Mr. Reno.
The indicator light dims. Maybe it's worth taking another look at the cleaner's tuk-tuk. You step away from the core. The sleek metal. This must be Reno. You step away. Doors crowd you, stacked upon each other. Behind one of them, your former asset Estoc, draped in a see-through cloak. Esty knew it's competent, unlikable, ultimately invaluable. Like her, cold, well-connected, and in her native element in the grey rooms of the city's bureaucratic and political ventricles. Also frigid, judgmental, and eminently punchable. One of these apartments belongs to Estoc. You just have to discover which. There appears to be a residence list on the wall. You could start there. You must be subtle in your approach. Your assets still live in her cover. That will make her unpredictable and desperate. Esty keeps a special mental calendar marked critical phone call from Herschel. The calendar has been counting for 5 years.
No soliciting. And mind the floors, will you? Good. We don't want any of it. Nothing weird or improper in my nice campaign. All right? You notice my badge? It's actually not just a building. I manage the entire housing campaign. I do what I can. More than most managers would, but there's only so much you can accomplish with a paintbrush and a broom. You should have seen what this place was like when Nestor put it up. Real class, real majesty. A palace for the people. During the Nestor-Ismo years, when the city was developing, some families needed to relocate so that we could have infrastructure, and this place was built to house them. It was a visionary project built in accordance with modern ideas. Cleanliness, efficiency, order. A different class of people moved in. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the children of the people that were here in the first place were born a different class of people than their parents. Important people, artists, diplomats, not like the vandals that infest it now. First job I ever took, and the last, probably, hopefully. I wasn't even out of school when I started cleaning the housing campaign. 16 years old. Worked all the way up to the big keys. I think it's happening to everything. At least you're aware of it. It's good that some people remember what we were capable of. Back when we had the sense of decency and cleanliness. Much too late now. All too late. Not really. I mean, you could help me sweep if you wanted to, but look around. You think one person alone can clean all this? We used to have one manager and 3 concierge. Now, it's just me. I'll pay you 20 sol if you're interested. You asked. I think the more we all dedicate ourselves to our own tasks, just the punctual tasks, the better it'll be for everyone. I said no soliciting. Very clearly, in fact. No nuances here. If you were at her wedding, then you know where her apartment is. Why do you need me? We don't usually like parties in the housing campaign, but for Mrs. Esty, we were happy to make an exception. She's so polite. Me too. Apartment number 4. Up the stairs, through the door, up the stairs again, 4's on the right. Tell Mrs. Esty I said hello. There have always been problems, if that's what you mean. But the general trajectory is going one way. Situations like the one my son is in would have been inconceivable to another generation. A young man in the prime of his life, crippled, actually crippled, by his devotion to... I don't even know what to call it. Some intangible social currency that exists only in his mind and in those of his idiot friends. Ah, I see you're part of the scene too then. Yes, Kurt is my son. But along the way, from there to here, we lost something. His whole generation, I worry, genuinely about what will happen once mine is too old to work. Will they be able to keep the trams running? The plumbing? The electricity? Will the railing go unpainted until one day it crumbles and falls off? I suppose I would. I mean, yes, of course. I just don't see how. It's also ethereal. I'm not exaggerating when I say he and his idiot friends are fully capable of starving to death without realizing it, was evaluating each other's transparent jockstraps, or whatever the latest scene trend is. I don't have any political inclinations. I just wish people would do their jobs. Is that really so radical? Thank you. Of course, fascism is a dirty word nowadays. But despite what people say about La Luz, the reunion wouldn't be the worst thing that could happen to Portofino. Would put some order into this place. I told you, I have no political inclinations. All I want is for someone to show people the proper way of doing things. Clearly, I'm not getting through to anyone. So someone with more power should step in. I don't know much about other places, but from what they tell me, everyone in La Luz has a purpose. The shoe shiner shines shoes, the building manager manages buildings. You know that apparently they have some kind of factories where singers have to make pop hits for 8 hours a day? Just like the rest of us. It is a society. This here is just a bunch of people living together. Look at me. Here I am, doing my job. If everyone did the same, well, that would be it. The world would work. Up the stairs. First door on the right. Keep going to the top. Really? Thanks. I could really use the... Are you sure you know how? This has to be done right, you know. This is a classy building. Here. Thanks. It's looking much better. Pick up your feet when you walk.
Photographs, candles, tucked under the stairs. You'd be forgiven for initially overlooking the modest shrine, were it not for the roughly carved wooden figurine, waist-high, sat off to one side. This is a shrine to Sirius, angel of romance, war, and negotiation. If it weren't for the candles, you easily could have mistaken it for a shadowy heap of discarded belongings, awaiting the weekly rubbish collection. Tonio's been maintaining it, but he's the only one. Few of the middle-class residents of the housing campaign want to be seen openly making offerings or tending the shrine. Such things scream working class. Among the usual photographs and candles, people have left mysterious items. A single house slipper, a dusty magnum of champagne, a small pouch filled with some sort of musky, sweet herb. And scattered throughout, wedding invitations, faded, creased, RSVP dates years in the past. It's customary to invite the angel to festivities, to bless the union. You are cordially invited to celebrate the joining of Mr. and Mrs. Pascal Kavanagh on Enatos 3rd, 92. According to law, a blessing from the Dog Star should ensure a union that lasts 30 years, minimum. Among the usual and scattered throughout, it's customary to invite the angel to festivities. It's believed that a generous offering guarantees a happy marriage. The stopper has gone brittle, covered in a thick coat of sticky dust. There's no way to remove it without getting fragments of disintegrating cork everywhere. You take out the little off-white rectangle, red-inked lips glinting in the low light. With a soft flutter, the card drops onto the shrine and into the dark pile of offerings. It belongs here. Overhead, a bird hits a window, but instead of dropping to the ground, it shakes itself, relaunches into the sky and flies away. The shadows shift and grow long, candles flickering, the air thickens around you. Each prayer counts. They should not be wasted. The red slips of paper hung overhead undulate gently as you step back. The cleaning tuk-tuk with its soap bubbles and secrets seems almost prestigious now. The tuk-tuk remains. A soft golden glow shines from within, curtains drawn, return during the day. A soft golden... Light glints off a wall of glass. The apartment behind it appears to be of a higher caliber than those around it. Now, what's Mr. Reno been getting up to inside his tower? A warm light has been switched on, illuminating the apartment and its contents. A sunken conversation pit, overturned furniture, curtains half torn off their rail. All the hallmarks of a particularly debauched night. Figures in thick hazmat-style suits move through the room, armed with vacuum cleaners and rubbish grabbers. The window has no ledge along which you could creep. There's no visible roof access door or ladders. There's always the front door, of course, or the window itself. The glass may be untempered, and it's possible that the right amount of force could shatter it. According to lessons learned in the opera greenhouse, an intrusion this audacious should be a route of last resort. Last resort? Fuck that. We are the first and last resort. Kid. Only 3 meters of void. Options with a lower likelihood of a plummet in death are always desirable. The moving boxes stacked in one corner of the little apartment are not empty, just abandoned. At some point, somebody tried to paint in here. Roller and tray, sponge caked with a crust of ivory latex, but gave up before they even covered half a wall. You sift through a life packed away in cardboard, the things they fought to take, and then left behind anyway. They winnowed down their belongings to what they could sneak out in the night. Gut instinct, the first things that sprang to mind as the most important, and the last things they fought to grab as they crept out the door. You fold back the tops of the cardboard boxes, covering their contents. It won't keep out the dust, or the next person to loot this place, but you do it anyway. The abandoned cardboard. You fold back the top.
Hello again. What'll it be?
In the empty bar, your attention
All right.
as you sink into the rhythms of the fogged mirror. Your consciousness takes a backseat as your body is puppeteered by muscle memory. You wipe. An evening comes and goes in the blink of an eye. Lucia hands over your pay with a
Drink up. We close.
It's still almost
It's getting worse.
You stare into the purple haze. You wiggle your little finger back and forth in front of your eyes. The screen is not affected in any way. The TV continues to rip open the Small white flowers have opened up at the touch of a sunbeam. Tight buds unfurling. Pale, fragile things. A delicate fragrance rises from the bush. Jasmine. You breathe in jasmine and cold air, soft and thin as hope. You blink. An hour has passed. The sunbeam is passing too. The bed welcomes you. The stillness of the room quietens your mind as you settle down. You pick up the payphone's hand. Your finger depresses the squishy shape. Something tense inside you relaxes and unwinds. You step away from the payphone. The cleaning tuk-tuk with its soap bubbles and secrets seemed... The old padlock, under stresses it could not possibly endure, shudders and pops open. The small space is tightly packed. In the corner is a selection of buckets, a rack of brooms and mops mounted on the wall above them. Bottles of cleaning solution are tucked into every free space, with names like Zyfrox, Extra Clean, Shine and Shimmer. Your eyes land on a shapeless garment in a disconcertingly meaty shade of pink. There's a zipper on the back and a large tinted window at the front, a viewport out, but not in. The cleaner's face obscured from clients who'd rather not have to acknowledge the humanity of their janitorial staff. Anything that obscures your face is good, when this suit has the advantage of obscuring your humanity completely. The suit slides off the rack and into your hands. The tuk-tuk remains in its... The sleek metal call box stands guard. This must be Reno's place. The dolphin indicates as much.
Private residence. Please state your business. They're already up here. Have been for a while. Yes, a sick cleaner would definitely pose a problem. One would wonder if they could even be called a cleaner at all. All right, come on up.
The cover of the book is the first thing that catches your eye. Hand-painted, blood-adorned. The text reads, Blood-type Hecatomb by H.S. Lastra. The title jars a memory, Holocene engrossed within its pages. Maybe the only time he was oblivious to the world.
Science fiction as a genre is utterly misunderstood by the majority, Cascade. It often contains the only ideas worth ideating.
You've never read it, but you feel like you've basically read it. An attempt at escape, maybe. One not diverting enough to drown out the incessant knocking of the world. A couple of chapters from the end. You are preparing to strike the cruelest blow. With a furtive glance over your shoulder, you slip the book into your pocket. The figure in the other sealed full bodysuit gives you a stiff nod. Your head inclines and the suit inclines with it, just barely. The plasticky fabric creasing and letting out a high-pitched sound. The figure shakes, not its head, but sort of the whole top half of its body. The figure in the other sealed full. The figure cocks their head. The figure shakes, not its head, but sort of the whole top half.
Oh, hello. You're with the cleaners, I take it.
The man stares around the room in bewildered horror, unable to focus on you. An audience member at his own vivisection.
Oh, I see. Have you perhaps seen my model train? I suspect one of your colleagues may have misplaced it.
Stop all the clocks. A purloined model kit. This investigation is priority alpha. Still looking around the room. He doesn't really register what you've just said.
I'm Reno, or Rinotel. What can I do for you? Yes, that's me.
He doesn't like being called the phone guy.
I really don't want to get into it now. Oscar, he's alive. Thank heavens. But no, I have nothing to say on this now. Just look at this mess. We do. Which? There are no tricks to it. It's largely compound interest and time. You know how superblock communists build their economics on 3 pillars.
That's, well, no. I believe canonically the 3 pillars are supply, demand, and magic.
As we in the developed world don't have the luxury of relying on magic, we replaced it with compound interest. Look it up. It'll change your life. No magic required. Well, it's not very politic to say, but most people suffer from poor impulse control. To tell you the truth, My own impulse control, or lack thereof, has been a lifelong curse.
First fault, best fault.
My business endeavors have succeeded because I've spent years fighting my own wiring. To not fall prey to market logic, but instead bypass it, often by esoteric means. The market ebbs and flows, as you know. That, in turn, locks us into investment cycles that I personally have grown rather weary of. No, I'm tired of being always right. To challenge my high education bias, I've hired a special consultant, one who specializes in esoteric knowledge, inaccessible to ordinary men of business. He's a medium of sorts, highly attuned to transmigratory souls. These interstitial beings are a rich source of counter-cyclical investment advice.
The history of communications is the history of people trying to contact the spirit plane. Clay tablets, film cameras, wireless telephones. The means change. The desire remains.
Yes, the cycle of life and death is more certain than any particular investment. Souls have a much higher rate of return. A Rustamian who literally washed up on the shore one day. Mysterious fellow. Prefers to keep to himself.
Mysterious Rustamian. Radian. A long shot, but worth following up on. Could be anyone.
I just pay him, listen in, and leave when satisfied. Now, was there anything else?
He looks at his watch, his forehead accordions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Discrepancy found.
None. Where have you come by that idea? If you know Oscar, then you practically know everything. Let's be clear that any dealings are strictly speculative. That said, I'm in the process of acquiring and rehabilitating a certain piece of disused infrastructure.
A seeming non sequitur.
It's a hole in the ground, really. An old rocket silo left over from the days of Project Autonomia on the Beetle Tract. Emter has signaled interest in resuming lunar missions from Portofino. Naturally, if those missions are successful, one could expect certain returns.
One meaning Reno, of course. Singular.
Indeed. And Portofino stands to benefit as well. What's not to like about it? I'm afraid I don't know anything about the negotiations themselves. I'm just a friend of Oscar's, as they say. The Minister of Mass Culture? Yes. I gathered that he will be representing La Luz at the negotiating table. What about him? That's certainly out of the question. I understand Minister Reyes is intensely private. For security reasons. Never.
The man sighs deeply and closes his eyes.
Well, there was also his deputy, the junior to Oscar Sr. Though I have to say, the young man seems quite stressed. Yeah? Yes. I think the Oscar may have delegated his duties a bit too aggressively. That's it, Frederick. Strange young man. I think this is his first Big assignment. He's the one to speak to, I would say. Now, please, let's never discuss this matter again. Where to even start? It's an extremely rare kit, a Type 04X, Chrysanthemum Sorrow. I'd really like to find it. That's right. Tavarna's head of design is an old friend, actually. I'd really like it back. Yes.
He throws a searching look at the empty shelf, as if expecting his precious chrysanthemum sorrow to have materialized at the evocation of its name.
Oh, thank you. It must be around here some.
Be well.
First things first, I know what you're thinking. And this isn't my cat.
Once again, you appear to have crossed paths with this strange man.
I sensed that it was only a matter of time before we came face to face again. But I wasn't sure you'd find your way up here.
This lapdog of the techno-fascists has been following your scent with impunity.
The cat's not the focus here anyway. There's no reason to assume this is Mr. Reno's cat. Working? Of course. No, I can't tell you the specifics. I'd love to, actually. But we're on opposite teams now, in a way. You know, I recognized you at Photo 24. A serendipitous coincidence, truly. I knew you'd been shelved these last few years. But of course, a man of my stature must have a keen eye for the talent. You know, I almost didn't recognize you under that hood, Herschel. Pretty sneaky, pretty good.
The sound of your name on his tongue. Unnatural, upsetting.
There's no reason to assume that cats are one and the same. Really, what a generalization. Of course, Herschel. Why else would I seek you out if not to exchange knowledge, skills, and expertise? To live, to laugh, perchance to love? Don't get hung up on that last part, Herschel. It was just a flash of inspiration. Our friendship goes way back, and I wouldn't want anything to soil it, you know.
Way back. Where?
That's a very hurtful thing to say, especially after you've victimized me in public.
His face drops.
That's a very cruel joke, Herschel. 5 years gone, and that's how you greet your friends.
5 years? No reliable entries. Just the dim feeling that's haunted you from the Photoshop. A shadow hovering in the background.
This pretense of ignorance is really hurtful. Really, I expected you'd treat your old colleague, Ignatz, a little better than this.
There must be something usable in here. Searching. Wait. Ignatz. The name from Taxman's ledger.
I don't believe this. Ignatz. Tempo's right-hand guy.
Face. Wholly unfamiliar. He exists as an unmarked smudge in the back of your mental drawer. Unplaced. Absolutely irrelevant.
Gotta say, Herschel, Your tradecraft is pretty good. If this ignorance is revenge for the hard time I gave you earlier, it's pettier of you than I expected. Herschel, the emotional dagger is dull, but you still manage to make me bleed.
A wall of words embellishes the hurt, but it's genuine.
You and I, we're on the same level. We've always understood each other. And so my desires are nothing covetous. I'm simply offering you the excellent opportunity to work together again. Just like in the old days.
Approach cautiously. There may yet be gold hidden in that repulsive coat.
She's beautiful, isn't she? Purebred, probably. They have papers when they're this beautiful. The cat is its own animal, free from the burden of society and property rights. Absolutely. With a cat like this, you know things are going okay. You can sleep at night without watching the news. People like you and me, we're not supposed to meet a cat like this. We can't really handle it, in a way. Just an animal? Herschel, this cat is magnificent. Look at it, look at the fur, the color, the tail. It's beautiful. You're lucky this cat doesn't speak or understand human. Otherwise it would be very displeased. I don't know yet, but whatever it is, I know it will be okay, because this cat will be there. Listen, it's a big thing, petting a civilization-affirming cat like this. There's no telling how it'll react. But then, if you need to do it, of course, who am I to stop you from petting a cat?
Your fingers hesitate just above the cat's surface. Is this really what you should be doing?
I told you, Herschel. It's not as easy as it looks. I know. We need to restrain ourselves, or it'll... What could I have against it, Herschel? I know. We need to restrain ourselves, or it'll be all we discuss. You're thinking very short-term, Herschel. I'm disappointed. Seriously. In my new position, I've developed a number of very highly placed sources. Very sneaky. But I'm in no position to share that information at this time. Your old friend Ignatz has been moving up in the world. I'm on a very complex and sensitive assignment on behalf of my new employer. Secret treaties will be discussed in a matter of days in this very apartment. Your old asset Ignatz is here, preparing the field, so to speak. Fucking leaks, Herschel. Unbelievable. Who was it? So the leak is mail. Even an innocuous statement can be a clue, Herschel. You should know that. This is sloppy talk. I expected better. Nice try. You know I can't tell you that. Don't worry. It is not the bank. A man's got to know who he is and who he isn't. Otherwise, who is he? Please, Herschel. That's a very offensive term to use. Some of them are very honorable people, servants of the state, like you. Maybe. There are many states of mind after all, but only one state of being. In any event, it's a very unusual arrangement. I'm basically de facto lead on this assignment. It's very offensive to imply what you're implying, Herschel. My position is perfectly legitimate.
Legitimate.
Currently, I'm overseeing the sanitation technicians. It may seem pedestrian, but in reality the responsibility could only be handled by someone at the level of de facto lead. You see before you the aftermath of a soiree organized by the owner of this place, Mr. Reno, and those leaky empter animals. My new employer suspects some pre-game empter mindfuckery. Work with me and I'll tell you all about it. These aren't normal cleaners, Herschel, despite how you may perceive them. If they came in their true form, it would arouse many suspicions. Herschel, you have such a silly and wild imagination at times. I guess we'll never find out who is in those suits. Rituals of good living. I light candles to Aldebaran, who governs the hustle. I work out at the gym. I don't discharge my essence too often. It is all in the routines. Please, Herschel, let's not act like we're not both people of the world. You attempt to prey on my vulnerability to words of affirmation. Very underhanded, yet effective. It's really too bad we aren't working together on this.
On this cleanup, right?
Think like an animal, Herschel. They don't look at the stars and ask themselves if they are really alone in the universe. They just drag themselves from sick pleasure to sick pleasure. Distractions from having to fathom their place in a dark and endless universe. Pretty fucked up, if you ask me. I saw this thing on TV the other day, about pink dolphins. Did you know pink dolphins are all drug addicts and sexual deviants? It's important to be curious about the world, Herschel. It's how you make interesting connections. Like what I did just now. You could say that, Herschel. But that is also a gross reduction of the truth. These days, one must think in all 4 dimensions to keep up with the latest advancements. It may sound mad, but only because I've trained myself to see into their twisted minds. The bankers are backwards people, so you have to think in reverse to understand their moves. It's very straightforward. I'd like you to take some wildlife photography. I would like to see some leaky animals in their natural habitat, doing what such animals do. Oh, Herschel, where has the passion gone? Where's the vim, the vigor? This is not inspirational, not at all. But fine, I'll indulge. One of the men providing physical security for these upcoming talks is a Carabinero rat. He's leaking information to his controller. I need a photo of this leaking in action. The Carabineros act as empter security detail for the upcoming talks. And just like their masters, are notorious for their unreliability and corruption. I suspect the Carabinero rat is readying itself to jeopardize the discussions. If you accept the job, I'll tell you all about them. Herschel, you of all people should know that power differentials matter. My new employers have trusted me with this site here, which is of much greater importance.
The wall of glass behind him is quite something.
Seriously? Does the opera expect you to subsist on charity? Things must be even worse under post-historical materialism than they say. Fortunately for you, I will be supplying the camera on this assignment. This is a one-time opportunity. I need you committed before this place is cleaned up. I'd hate for you to miss out on a chance for us to collaborate again. I have ascertained the filthy Carabinero, and I have also ascertained his controller. All you need to do is get them on film together. If you prove yourself a capable sub-lead, I'm sure we could come to some mutually beneficial and totally unofficial agreement. Everyone comes out ahead, except the leaky animals. I get rid of a problem, and you'll receive some information that will make your life and the opera's much more interesting. Maybe back home you are, but the opera's stuck in their old way. You need the skilled, gentle, and contemporary hand of Ignatz to guide you. Very good, Herschel. The animal you're looking for always wears half his uniform, even of ours. You'll know him by his corrupt, sleazy demeanor, his dead eyes, and dark, floppy hair. Truly, an unappealing individual. In a proper society, he'd be euthanized or at least kept indoors. A local woman, about your age, with a mole on her cheek. It took all my skills and training to ascertain their true identity. They meet every day on the bridge that's east of the bazaar roundabout. A great place for some filthy fucking animals to do their leaky business, apparently. You'll need to use this camera. It's a very special piece of technology, but the film inside of it is even more special. Make sure you use it.
Danger. How about a self-portrait or a still shot of a beautiful landscape?
My new employers have different ideas about privacy and conscience than you or I. But I can't judge. Another man's house, another man's rules. They're trying to build a post-historical final society with a final man as its subject. So naturally they can't have old-style thoughts going around. That's how I understand it, at least. It's not like here or in the superblock, Herschel. My new employers do not fuck around. They have cameras everywhere, taking photographs with this exact film. Please, Herschel, the poor woman does not exist. It's a mere fabrication by the lonely, deprived mind of a small business owner. No. A de facto counterintelligence lead cannot risk being seen in the same place twice. Our enemies are very attuned to patterns, and so forth. Once you've got the photos developed, meet me on the rooftops of the housing campaign. Any night. Just one quality photograph of the Carabinero leaking in the wild will do. Make sure you get the woman too, his controller. And try not to call attention to yourself. These are highly dangerous individuals. I'm sure I don't need to explain. Tempo. our old crewmate. What about him? What do you mean, dead? No, I never touched him.
Despite the verbal evasions, his manner is genuine. He doesn't know anything about Tempo's demise.
Besides, I figure he's just disappeared again. Probably on vacation. That's a weird question, Herschel. What do you mean by that? It's okay to fear what you do not understand. In this case, my highly trained expertise and raw prowess. But Herschel, why would you suggest such a thing again? If you'd kept in touch with your old asset Ignatz, you'd also be having a piece of the pie while it is still warm. Not needing to subsist on the cold and stale crumbs of your toxic imagination. Normally, Herschel, I would have to keep all of this under wraps. But since you and I go way back and are totally cool, and now working together, I can tell you all about it. Mr. Reno will host talks between La Luz and Emter here on matters of world historical import. May have to rewrite the textbooks, if you know what I mean. The negotiations are yet to happen, Herschel. I am very good, but I cannot see into the future, obviously. Safe to say, a clash of ideologies is happening right here, all around us.
Around you, cleaners continue their work diligently. Monks in thermoplastic robes, carrying blunt machines.
You're probably thinking, how did my old pal Ignatz best me? This is what I mean by observations. I've been extremely diligent in my observations. Thank you, Herschel. You may have had the luxury of taking all those years off, but I've been on the grind, as those filthy Emter animals say. Something very like that. I understand he gets the right to certain highly coveted flight paths. Men like Reno, they know how to make money coming and going. I trust this will stay between us, Herschel, seeing as we're friends and all. Very good. I'll be waiting. It's a pleasure to be working together again.
You have never. The figure in the others. The figure cocked. The figure shake.